Naira unification, exchange rate unification. Naira forex inflow rises by 28% to 1.41 billion naira. Of course, that is a huge number there. And of course, the BDC are also saying that the exchange rate harmonization may not work if the CBN did not include them in the policy. Welcome to Business Daily. I am Yusuf Akogo. We take our business top stories. Glad to have you back. Now let's take the commodity prices to show you how prices of commodities are across the states of the country. Take a look. Glad to have you back. Now let's look at how the stock market fared yesterday. Of course, the market closed in the negative territory yesterday with the index losing over 1,000 basis points there on the day. Of course, the index down there 2.47%. The index lost over yesterday it was over 65,000 basis points, an all-time high. But again, profit taking stepped in yesterday, and the index lost over 1,600 to come down to 64,046.93 basis points. All share index, market cap 34.9 trillion. The total volume of trade 1.163. Value 12.694%, and of course, in terms of deals, over 13,000 deals there exchange hands among investors. To look at the gainers on the day, of course, we have quite the likes of a Cordvile gaining 10% to close at 88 kobo there. Deep Carb also gaining 10% as well to close at 33 kobo per shares. Of course, Gold Brewery also gaining 9.88% to close positive at 2 naira 68 kobo. On the losing side, we have quite a few number of them as well. FBN, First Bank of Nigeria, losing 10%, a huge number there. Of course, that is reflected in the performance of the market overall, considering the fact that First Bank is one of the tier 1 bank quoted on the exchange. 19 naira, the share price closed on the day. Of course, Entrasat as well, also losing 10% to close negative at 8 naira 55 kobo. Of course, Name Insurance also losing 10%, maximum number to close downward there at 5 naira 45 kobo per share. Of course, on the top traded equities for the day, the top traded equities The top traded equities for the day, of course, we have the UBA United Bank for Africa, 178 million volume of shares, Japan Gold and Ventures, 110, and of course, Transcorp Nigeria, 87.1 million volume of shares they traded on the day. Of course, the sectoral performance all in red. We look at the performance across sector, all of them dipped in red. You can see the banking sector 2.61, 5.31 for the industrial sector, 0.77 for the consumer goods, and of course the oil and gas sector down there for 0.45%, as well as the insurance sector 5.42%. Of course, that is actually not surprising considering that the market closed negative yesterday. We look at the rest of Africa and see how they're actually faring. Johannesburg closed positive yesterday, 0.41%, and of course, NSE in Nairobi in Kenya, of course, 0.41 as well. And of course, down there in Ghana, the market closed negative 3.69%. These are the performance of the market on the day. Of course, the trading is on as usual. I will keep the tab on the market to give you update regarding what is happening in the market. Now we go into our discussion briefly. We're looking at the issue around foreign exchange markets. Indeed, Naira has been given the freedom that everybody has been clamoring for, but again, is on the free fall. What is responsible for the free fall? How long can we hang on against the major currencies of the world? I have my guest joining me via phone, our business analyst, Wilson Agaba. He's joining me via phone from Abuja here. Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning, Yusuf. How are you doing today?
Very well. Good to hear your voice. Naira is on the free fall. We saw that it hit a 9-month high yesterday of 800 Naira per dollar. What do you think is responsible for all of this thing, and how long do you think Naira can actually hang on?
Remember I told you in the last program when I was at your station, or was it when I joined you virtually? I told you that the streamlining of freedom of exchange rates or floating of the Naira that we did will work against us. Other policies are not pursued vigorously, purposefully, consciously, and consistently in quick succession. Is what you are seeing today. Now, you can strengthen the Naira if you want. We must produce what we eat. We must produce for other countries. That's how you get other currencies to chase the Naira. It's a simple demand and supply issue. When the demand is high, the price goes up. When the demand is low, the price. So it is for the currency. When the demand for a particular currency is high, the value goes up. And when the demand is low, the value goes down. The demand for Naira is lower than the demand for USD from Nigeria. And so what you get is a lot of, look at us today, a lot of our people have lost faith in the educational system, so they go to school abroad. And that one is a discussion for another day. Apart from the frustration you witness from the administrative staff in our school to the lecturers who will not even rate you based on what you have to offer, to a lot of people from here and go to school abroad. Even though those are in Nigeria, still do online school abroad. We pay for millions of websites. We pay for adverts on social media. We pay for importation of clothes. We pay for importation of food and beverages. We pay for importation of wine. We pay for importation of cars. We pay for importation of everything. How can the Naira float and be doing well?
So, Mr. Wilson, you don't think the CBN policy is also affecting Naira, considering the fact that there's a segment of the market, though some say it is unofficial, but they play a very key role. I'm talking about the BDCs segment of the market. They have not really been carried along. And again, you look at the way it is now, it's like the Naira rate is actually, harmonizing around the BDC rate. Don't you think the CBN is making a mistake neglecting this segment of the market?
Well, you see, the problem is that we have policymakers who always want to get the applause of the people, not necessarily because they want to make any positive change. They just want to get the applause of the people. So once you get a position, quickly rush, drop something out there, get the media to chew on it, get some people to clap for you, get some people to come against you and let them be clamped down by your supporters and all of that. That is the charade you see around our policies all the time. There is no keen study around the variables and the environment before you put policies out. You should understand that the DDC is there. You should understand the attitude of the commercial bank, who always frustrate every policy of the CBN. You should include the variable called motivation. How can you put in place the carrot and the stick approach to ensure that all your policies are well implemented? People still go to the black market because when you go to the bank, they will unnecessarily delay you. They make sure that you can't get what you are looking for until the business you want to do is gone. You can't get the money you need to pay for cookies until registration is closed. So people just rush to the black market and back. The black now hold the edge.
Mr. Wilson,
the ought to have strengthened the bank before going into all this kind of things.
Mr. Wilson, according to the World Bank, in 2022, Naira lost about 10%. That is one of the third currency in Africa that lost that much. And now we are in 2023, and this is, well, we've passed half a year now, we're in the second half of the year. And of course, Naira is not really catching up with the rest currency of the world. But given the policies that has been introduced so far and the kind of value that you're seeing, do you really think that we are actually taking the right direction? Or perhaps maybe in a matter of time, things will stabilize?
Please, let me ask you a question. You are the one who is supposed to ask me a question, but I'm going to ask you now. Suppose I have told you that our only solution is production. Suppose that we do a research and we come to a conclusion that the highest import is, let me choose something simple. Let me even choose that it is food items. And we decide, okay, let's make investment into the food sector and let us produce our food at home here. How many months do you think it will take before the food we are producing matures? It's going to take at least 1 year. And that first production we are making will not be sustainable. We need to make that investment before we can stabilize. It can take 3 years to stabilize it. That is when your Naira will start to change. Let's see, if you even go to automobile, for instance, that might take 6 years. So these things are not something you are going to expect in the next 3 months. It will start looking. It may take 6 months. Yeah, I don't see it like that. It's going to be a medium term.
All right. All right, Mr. Wilson Agaba, business analyst, I must thank you for your time on the show today. And interestingly, our next topic will focus on food production in Nigeria. So we'll get some answers to some of the questions that you have raised. Thank you for your time on Business Daily, Mr. Wilson Agaba.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. So we'll take a very quick break now. When we come back, we'll continue the program will continue rather.